What's going on, guys? Welcome to my ranking of the Lethal Weapon franchise. I know, another random video for my channel, but just like with the Rocky franchise, when I was sick this past December, I watched a lot of movies and I rewatched the Lethal Weapon franchise. Had so much fun rewatching it that I wanted to talk about it and get some of you Lethal Weapon fans in the conversation. So, my ranking of the Lethal Weapon franchise, kicking it off with number 4, Lethal Weapon 3. Now, with this ranking, all 4 of these movies are movies that I like. I don't think there's a bad movie in this franchise yet, since they're talking about doing another 5th one apparently. Lethal Weapon 3, to me, just has the least interesting story of all of them. I love the addition of Rene Russo. I think she's a great addition to the cast. I love the whole dynamic with her and Riggs. Riggs finally gets somebody new that he can love after the whole tragic situation with his wife that happened even before the first Lethal Weapon movie. I love the fact that we get Joe Pesci back as Leo Getz. All the character interactions are as great as they were in any of these movies. Martin Riggs and Murtaugh, all of that stuff is great. To me, it's just the story, honestly. It's the story and it's the villain. The cop that went bad, the whole thing with the cop killer bullets that pierce armor. All that stuff just doesn't seem as interesting. It feels like it is kind of a forced sequel in Lethal Weapon 3. Still an entertaining movie, still a good addition to this franchise for the addition of Rene Russo alone, but out of the 4, it's the one that I watched the least, it's the one that I appreciate the least. So Lethal Weapon 3 is number 4. Number 3 is Lethal Weapon 4. A little switcheroo there. Lethal Weapon 4 is great to me. It's a movie that should not work because it's the 4th movie. To me, the only flaws with it is they start throwing in too much, like they throw in Chris Rock, and he's decent in the movie, but he just feels kind of superfluous. Now you got Rene Russo in there, you got Leo Getz in there, you got all this family with this Asian family who has been in this human trafficking story, so just so many characters going on that the movie feels a little bit like it juggles a lot too much sometimes. But aside from that, which is a minor nitpick, this movie is pure entertainment gold. You got an older Mel Gibson and an older Murtaugh. I mean, they're in the 90s, so they're old as fuck now in comparison. They're gonna do another one, but at the time, the storyline was, now we're too old for this shit. You got Riggs and Murtaugh, their character interaction is gold. Like some of the best written lines in the franchise, so much comedy there. Leo Getz, all the shit between him being a private investigator and them just fucking with him the entire movie. Jet Li, this is the movie that gave America their first peek at Jet Li, unless you were really into Hong Kong cinema at the time, but Jet Li, probably the scariest villain in this entire franchise. The way that he fights, how pissed off he gets in the 3rd act, Jet Li is awesome. And this movie was kind of famous at the time just for that alone. It was like, what is this fucking guy? What is this fighting that he's doing? He's badass. So, Lethal Weapon 4 to me, a lot of great character moments. The whole thing with Riggs and Rene Russo's character having a baby. You got Murtaugh's daughter having a baby at the same time. The whole mystery of the origins of the father. Like, all that stuff is great to me. This movie is a must-watch of the franchise, and it's one of the most entertaining of the franchise to me. So that's number 3. Number 2, is it Lethal Weapon? Is it Lethal Weapon 2? For me, number 2 might be controversial. It's Lethal Weapon. I like Lethal Weapon 2 just a little bit more, and I'll get into why. But Lethal Weapon, can't take anything away from it. One of the greatest movies of the 80s. One of the greatest, if not the greatest, the gold standard for a buddy cop movie. A lot of really interesting balance of comedy, action, and seriously fucked up drama. Like the whole thing with Riggs being suicidal because his wife is dead, like all that stuff is like Oscar caliber good in a movie that should be kind of a cheap thrill action comedy, but it's not. It's just so much more deeper than that. You get, you know, Gary Busey as Mr. Joshua, as a really interesting villain. Just the whole storyline between those villains and how Riggs and Murtaugh grow to love each other when they can't stand each other to take these guys down. I mean, Lethal Weapon is just purely awesome. There's a reason why whenever everybody talks about their best action movies, best movies of the 80s, best buddy cop movies, best action comedy movies, Lethal Weapon's on all of those lists all the time. It's just the one that started it all, honestly. So it's not my favorite buddy cop movie of all time. I'm not gonna say what it is because I might get made fun of, but Tango and Cash. But Lethal Weapon, can't say anything bad about it. I love Lethal Weapon. But Lethal Weapon 2 did it just a little bit better for me. It's got everything that I just said about Lethal Weapon. Maybe toned down drama a little bit for more entertainment value, but for me that makes the movie more entertaining and more rewatchable. And a lot of it, honestly, is the introduction of Leo Getz. That fucking character is awesome when they introduce him into this franchise. The whole conversation they have in the car about how they fuck you at the drive-thru, whenever they first get to his hotel suite and the guy tries to kill him and they launch out the window into the pool. Like, there are so many golden moments in Lethal Weapon 2 that this is definitively the one that I watch the most. Whenever I'm in a Lethal Weapon mood, 9 times out of 10, I pop in the second one. The whole thing with him, Murtaugh being stuck on the toilet because there's a bomb there and Riggs has to pull him off of it, and all that stuff is so great. The fucking condom commercial, the condom trees. There are so many moments in Lethal Weapon that are some of my favorites in action movies, comedy movies, buddy cop movies. It's all in Lethal Weapon 2. As awesome as Lethal Weapon is, Lethal Weapon 2 is just a little bit better for me. So that is my number 1 of the Lethal Weapon franchise. What are your guys' thoughts on the Lethal Weapon franchise? What is your ranking? Put it down in the comment section below. Are you a fan of these movies? Have you ever seen them? I think they're still on Netflix because I rewatched them all on there. If not, go out and buy the Blu-ray. You can get all 4 of them for like 20 bucks. It's well worth it. So check all that out, guys. Like and share this video. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. If you want to check out some of my social media links, check out Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, my Patreon page. Great way to give back to this channel, help it grow, and get some awesome exclusive content for your eyes only if you decide to become a patron, as well as my Spreadshirt store. Got 4 designs up right now. Very cool stuff. T-shirts, hoodies, tote bags, water bottles, all that good stuff. Check that out, guys. More designs coming soon. And if you want to check out some more of my videos, you can check out a few more by clicking right over here.